was going through some challenges from front-end mentor, and there I saw one that form, a simple form using HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But in this video, I will not explain this JavaScript thing. I will only do the HTML and CSS part. In next, if I make another video, then I will add that JavaScript part in that. So how I get this? I mean, it's a very simple project. But then also, let me tell you one story about my office. Let's consider two people. One was doing one course which was simple HTML CSS courses, and another guy who was a little bit experienced in the development team. Actually, he was from the backend development team, but he also knows the front end. So he was very confident. He said that when that guy was giving the examination for that course, he came and he said that I will do. I can solve all these problems. But soon, when he was going through the problems, he was unable to solve this. So from there, I got that even if you are experienced also, you cannot solve each and every problem if you do not know the basics of those things. Nowadays, we use a lot of frameworks like Bootstrap and Tailwind CSS and many other things. But first, we should learn the basics. First, we should go through the simple CSS. First, you should apply the CSS by yourself. Then only you should jump to these things like Bootstraps and Tailwinds. So let's start this. This is the design which we need to create. We will create a little bit. We will try to create this thing, but it may differ a little bit because I have not got the Figma design of this, because it needs the pro version for the Figma design. So let's create this. So first we will take this HTML and we will print this boilerplate, and in this boilerplate let's rename it as contact us, and let's add this CSS file. We will not add the JavaScript file because we are not going to work now in the JavaScript. Relation style sheet href style.css. So first we will create this main container. So let's name it as container, and inside this container we will create one contact us. We will create a div named contact us, which will give the heading, and inside this we will keep the heading which is contact us. Okay, so I think my live server is somehow closed. Let me open it. Okay, now it is here. So after that, what actually we are doing, we will create one container here like this, and after that we will add these things. So we have created this contact us field, and after that we will take the form element, and in this form element, inside this form element, I will keep all these things. First we will give this name section, and inside this name section there will be two things, the first name and the last name. So we will keep these in two divs named first name. Inside this first name we will give the span tag, and inside this span tag we will write this first name, and for this we will give this star mark for the. So in future, if we will add JavaScript in this, then we can use this as a required field. And after that we will give the input field, and the input type will be text. So here we have got this thing like this. We will create another div named last name. Why I am dividing these small things into small divs, you will get to know when I will use the styling, because this design seems to be very simple, but when you will do this, then you will get a lot of problems. So you have to divide this into these kinds so that you can apply the CSS easily, and you get all this desired design. So after that we have the email section. So we will create another div after this name section, and the div name will be email, and inside this email there will be one span tag, and this span tag will contain email address. And after this span tag, we will give that input field, and input type will be, you can keep it text for now, but when we will use JavaScript, then we will look into this problem after that. So the email part is also completed. So now we need to give this query part, where actually it is a query form where we can fill the form and raise a query for any company or any service provider. So div dot query, and inside this there will be one span tag. Inside the span tag there will be query type, that what is the type of your query, and we have to give two types of query. So after this we will take another div named button, and inside that we will give two buttons. The first button will be of class general query. There will be one general query, sorry, there will be a general. Let's give a general. Let me check here. It's general inquiry. So let's give general inquiry. And inside this general inquiry there will be one radio button. So let's put input, and its type will be radio. And after this radio button we will give the name of the button, that will be general inquiry. After this we will have another button. You can see here there are two buttons. And this button name will be support request. So we have got these two buttons. So now let's move to the CSS part for now, or we can just do all the HTML part at once, and after that we will move to the CSS. So this is the button div, and after this button div we have got another div named message. So here we have to write div dot message. Let's give this name message, and after giving message, here we will give again a span tag inside which message will be there, and after that one text area will be there for the message content. So for the text area we need to give the rows, that how many rows of text we will allow the user to input, and columns. Column will be, let's give 50. So text area is also completed. So now you can see the text area is also there. So after the text area we have got that concern button. We will actually give a checkbox here, div dot, let's call it concern button, and here we will give the input field, and we have to give an ID here, so we can use the CSS for this. ID will be checkbox, and the type of this will be checkbox. So we have got the checkbox here, and after this checkbox we will give the text which we need to display there, that is I consent to being contacted by the team. So almost things are done, and after this we need to give a button, submit button. So let's work on this. We will simply give a button, and let's call this button class as submit button, and we will name this as submit button. So you have got the button also. So the HTML part is completed, and now let's move to the CSS part. So for CSS part, let's first set some default values which will reset the margin. If there is any margin, then margin will be 0, padding will be also 0, and let's give box sizing as border box. So this box sizing border box, you can check this. This is a very good concept of CSS. You can check it about this and learn about this more by doing just Google. But so now let's give the first design to the body. Let's give some design to the body. So here for body, let's give me background color, and let's take this color. Okay, so after taking color, let's give this. So what we need to do, we need to this take this content to the middle of this body. So what we need to do for that, is we need to give display flex, so that this container, we have given this container, right? So that this container gets the properties of display flex, so that we can use the properties of display flex further. So after that display flex, we need to give align item centers, so that the item aligns center, but it's not working. So let's give the another justify content center. So see, justify content center is working, but the align item center is not working. So what's the reason behind this? So simply what we need to do is we need to give the height of this body. So its body, let's give height 100 VH, the whole height. Now you can see this form is here. So this is also a very, I mean, we call it silly mistake, because usually we do not do these kind of things. Actually, we do not apply display flex often in the body part. So we forget this thing, that if we need to align the things in the center, then we need to give height to that. Okay, let's move to the forward. So now let's give styling to the container, the main container. So we can so that it gets visible to us. So for the main container, let's give height 80 VH, and for width, let's give 65% of the main container, and the main container is the body. And background color, let's give this grayish touch, so we can use this da color. So now we can see that it's here in the center. And after that, we will give display flex, so that we can use display flex properties inside this container. Okay, we have given display flex, align items center, and after giving align item centers, justify content center. So see, here it's working perfectly, because we have already in this case we have not given the height, but in this case we have already defined the height. So the things are working properly. So now let's give one more thing, the justify content. So flex direction column, so that all the things. Previously this contact us thing was here, but after giving the column flex direction column, the contact us came here, and we can style that later on. So now let's come to these input fields which we have given. So input, and we will define a height to them. Height, let's take 2 rem. Now you can see these boxes are looking pretty good. And after that, now let's come to this name part. So what we need to do is we need to align this name part. The first name should be here, and the last name should be in the second part of this. I mean, it should be in same line. So let's style that. So these are the things to style this first name here and last name here. I have given this in HTML. You can see I have taken this in another div for the first name, and for the last name I have taken another div, so we can style it properly and efficiently. So for name, let's take the parent div of this name first, and for name let's give margin first, so that these things get a little bit of margin. 1 rem, let's give. So now you can see this div has got a margin from this div. So margin 1 rem, and let's give display flex. So now you can see it is you can see here that these things have aligned in a row direction. But when you will see this, another thing what we need to do is we need to keep this first name last name in the above of this input field here. So for that, what we need to do is we need to align first. Let's align the items in the center, so that the things comes in center. Okay, now they have taken a proper space and these are in center. Now what we can do, we have to align that name in the above of this input field. This name should be here and this name should be here. So for that, what we need to do, we need to select the first name thing. So first name, and for the first name we need to give display flex. So now it's looking like a little bit messed up for that, but soon you will get the desired design. After display flex, let's give the flex direction column. Now it's coming a little bit in the position where we need to keep this. Let's keep this width 100%. So now you can see what 100% of width I'm setting is, I'm setting the 100% width for this first name div. There is the first name div, there is the last name div. So 100% width, it is taking of the first name div, and the same thing we have to do with the last name div. And let's give a little bit of margin, 0.2 rem. Now it's the first name is looking good, and you can see the first name has came here and the last name has also came here above as we were desiring to do. So the same thing we need to do with the last name also. So let's copy this and give last name. Now we got the desired result. Now we need to work on this email address. So let's take first the main div of email, that is email, and we will give a margin here also of how much margin we have given previously, 1 rem. So the same margin I will give here, 1 rem, and let's give display flex here also. And after that the flex direction should be column, because in whole this whole form we are saying that the name is above, I mean the label is above, and after that the input fields are. So flex direction should be column. Now you can see we do not need to do anything else with this. It is also already looking pretty good. Now let's move this query thing, query type. So let's select this thing, query. Margin will be 1 rem and display will be flex, and flex direction will be column. So after this query we need to work on this message. But one more thing, you can see that we need to set these things also. The query type, inside query type there are 2 buttons, we need to set these things also. So let's work on those things first. So what we have given the name of that div, let me check, and the name of that div is where we are containing this query and buttons. Okay, the name of this div is button. See here, you can see it, btn. So let's select the btn first and let's give display flex to this. And after that we need to give justify content space between, so that they get space between them. So now you can see the one button is here and another is here. So let's go inside these divs, these buttons. So for the first button, what we have named it as general, we have given class name as general inquiry. So let's select the general inquiry first. For general inquiry we will give a width, and the same thing we will do with the support request also, but first let's do with the general inquiry, and we will give 100% width. And what we are again doing, we are doing the same thing which we have done here, 100% width of this container, this div, and we will give again 100% width for this div and this container. So width will be 100%, and after that let's give margin of, I've already calculated these things, I mean I've already calculated these things that how it will look good, and after that I'm making this video. So if you are supposing that how I am giving these random values, so the thing is that I've already worked on this. So margin is 0.2, so it's looking very big let's fix this. So to fix this, let's give display flex and align item center. So what we are doing is we are just aligning these things, these two, this radio button and this, what I will say, this word properly, like this. See, you can see here how it is looking here. I'm trying to do that. So after that, let's give a gap. So gap will be 0.5 rem. Again, I have previously calculated this thing, so I'm writing it here. Padding will be 0.2 rem. So now it's looking a little bit good. Here also you can see. Let's do the same thing with this support request. So width will be 100%. Margin will be the same thing. We can copy from here. So now you can see these things are looking pretty good. Now let's move on to this message section. So for message section, what we need to do is we have only one container there in message section, this div, which name is message. So let's select that div here, and what we will do here, we will give margin to this also 1 rem, and after that we will give display flex here also, and flex direction will be column. That's it. Now it's looking pretty good. I think I have set some values because this message thing is, its columns are less. I think how much I have set. Rows I have set 5 because it's the text area is looking very small, so we can fix it. Rows 5, columns 50. Let's do it 15. How it's looking. I think it is getting disturbed due to some other factors, some other values which I have set. Let me cross check once. So I have set the body. Okay, we will try to fix it later on. Let's complete the other things first. So after message, what we need to do, we need to work on these things, this checkbox and this paragraph. So for that, we need to select that consent button. Consent button should be display flex, and margin should be 1 rem. So now it came a little bit above, and now let's I have given one ID to this paragraph, sorry, this checkbox, and the ID is checkbox. Let's select that ID, and inside that ID we will give a margin of 0.7 rem, 0.2 rem, and again 0.2 rem. So after this, we need to work on this paragraph. So it's in this paragraph, actually this margin I need to set in the paragraph. And for this I need to give another margin of 0.2 rem. So now it is looking pretty good. We can check here, we can click on this checkbox. Now let's move to this submit button. So for submit button, let's select the submit button first. And for this submit button, let's give these values. Like width will be 100%. So now you can see that it has taken the 100% width. Now the padding will be 0.3 rem, and background color, let's give it RGB 5, 114 and 117. So this value is also previously calculated. Border, let's give border none, and after that color should be white. So now it is looking not absolutely like this, but is it looking pretty good. My actual concern was this thing, that how we can align these things in a one line, that first name should be here and last name should be here, these two buttons. This was the most important thing in this project.